Now in this video I will be discussing characteristics of profession and characteristics of employment. You are already familiar with characteristics of business, which I have done in first video. This will be the second video, characteristics of profession. Now how profession is different from business you need to understand. Now whom we call professional. First of all we need to understand whom we call professional. Now like teacher, lawyer, doctor, these are certain examples of professionals. Now a teacher will say I am a professional, lawyer we call professional lawyer, professional doctor. Now why we call them professional? First of all, the qualification varies with type of profession. So suppose a teacher, whatever I am teaching, I have to be qualified in that field. I have to have completed master degrees or greater qualification in that similar field. Suppose a doctor has to qualify in his line. He has to do MBA, then he can do whatever specializations he is into the job. And a lawyer has to do LLB. So what you can see is, depending on the different profession, their qualification varies, and here at least minimum qualification requirement is there. You cannot be a doctor if you don't have been educated or trained as a doctor. Okay, if you cannot be a lawyer if you don't have LLB. So what is it? These are the minimum requirements. After that you can go for higher studies in that field, but these are the minimum requirements that is needed to act as a professional. Then personalized service. Now if you look into the kind of work they are into, you will feel that their service varies. Now when you pay a doctor, suppose you are ill and you pay a doctor, when you come out of the chamber, do you come out with any kind of good? Have you paid in turn? Have you got anything in return? Tangible, anything which you can touch, see and feel? No. What you get a sense of satisfaction. Why you are satisfied? Because he has given you proper medication to treat your illness. When we visit a lawyer and we pay the money to a lawyer, why? Because we are suppose suffering from any kind of trouble and the lawyer helps us to come to a solution to our case. In fact, a teacher is also paid, but what a teacher gives you? The teacher never gives you any kind of tangible or goods or commodity or object when you pay her in return. They give you the quality or education which you need, and you feel satisfied, and they prepare you so that you can appear for the future examinations. So what can we see here? That these professionals, they are giving some sort of service. They are not giving any kind of good, but they are giving you some kind of service that helps you to satisfy, that helps you to, that fulfills any kind of your want. Now their service varies from one person to person. A doctor doesn't write the same prescription for every patient. He writes according to the different types of illness. So you are getting the service you require from a doctor. The other person is getting the service or medication he requires from a doctor. Similarly, when you approach a lawyer to solve the cases, everybody's case or problems are not the same. Every problem is different for which you approach a lawyer. So lawyer gives you the service which you need, which varies from person to person. So we say that professionals, whom we call professionals, those who give personalized service. Personalized means individual to individual the service varies. And why service? Because you are paying them, not because you get some kind of goods in return. In case of businessman, when you pay, you get some sort of goods in return. Here you get some services, that is your need, that has the one satisfying factor. Whatever which gives you satisfaction. Number 3, now when you pay a doctor, you call it fee. When you pay the lawyer the money, you call that fee. When you pay a teacher, that is known as fee. So what professionals earn, the money return, you call them fee. So they earn fees in return. Now, how does it differ from business? A businessman earns profit. He doesn't need any prescribed qualification. He gives goods. But here you can see from the first 3, qualification is mandatory in the field where you want to give your service. Next, here the service is not the same for everyone. You give service which varies from one person to the other, and in return, why it is an economic activity? Because you are doing it for the purpose of earning money and you earn fees in return. The money that the professionals get is known as fees. Minimum capital investment for establishment. Now you have seen that businessman requires lot of money because they have to incur it for production or for procuring the goods, and finally they sell it at a higher price to earn profit. But here professionals, they have the knowledge. Wherever they want to operate as doctor or a lawyer, they can do and earn fees. Now what is the capital investment we are talking about? They have to incur capital investment in gathering the knowledge. Now first you have to have the degree, otherwise you cannot pursue as a lawyer or operate as a lawyer. You have to have the degree to actually show yourself, present yourself as a doctor. So for acquiring that knowledge or degree, you have to spend money. So that is a capital investment. Secondly, a lawyer can work on his own. He has to set a chamber. A doctor has to set a chamber. So that much money is required if they can open a chamber by hiring the plot, or they can purchase and furnish it, the chamber, according to their requirement. But whatever happens, for establishment of the chamber, or for showing yourself that you are an established doctor or a lawyer, you have to make some capital investment. First, to acquire degree. Second, the capital investment is required to at least create your chamber where you will start operating. You need a physical location where the doctor or a lawyer will be sitting and the persons will be visiting them. So the setup requires a cost, and for that there is a capital investment. But that is minimum, that is negligible compared to a businessman, because every time the businessman is earning profit by incurring money in production, so he has to constantly supply capital for producing or procuring, and then later earns profit. But here it is one time you get the degree, your capital investment is over. One time you make the chamber, your investment is over, and later on you can, at a later date, you can repair or whatever cost, that is also very less amount. So we call it minimum capital investment required. Registered under particular professional association. Now all the individual doctors, lawyers, they operate on their own. But if you are in exactly same kind of profession, you have an association who will be heading you. For example, there are so many lawyers in India. Now if they have to operate as a lawyer, they need to show their license, get their license registered. Now from where do they get that registered? They also have a head, that is known as the head of a particular profession. It's known as professional association. And all the lawyers, I am just taking one example, all the lawyers, they are professionals, they operate on their own, but they have a head, that is known as professional association, under whom all the lawyers are registered. Once they are registered by these professional association, then only they can act as a lawyer. And what is the name of the professional association? You must have heard Bar Council. So Bar Council is the professional association, and what is its job? It regulates or it controls the activity of all the lawyers of India and they can only operate if once they are registered under the Bar Council. Otherwise, they cannot operate as a lawyer. They will not be recognized as a lawyer. Then code of conduct. What do you mean by code of conduct? The behavior or certain rules which you need to maintain as a professional. Now for a doctor there is a different set of rules. For a teacher there are also different set of rules. For a lawyer also different set of rules. And that rules, who gives you or who directs? The association under which you fall. Like the same example I am continuing. The lawyers are the professionals. Their head is the Professional Association Bar Council. So it is the Bar Council or the association that will dictate time to time the rules and the laws which the lawyers should follow. Suppose for the same case, the lawyer cannot charge two individuals different. Now if the lawyer charges according to your financial stability, suppose you can access from the customer, you can get knowledge from the customer that he might be having huge money. So you are charging more for the same, solving the same case, and the lawyer is charging less from a person whose financial stability with what can be gauged or what can be understood is less. So lawyer is charging differential price for the same case. That is also not allowed, and that rule is given by the association. It is not moral or not right, because when a lawyer is solving the case and if the cases are same, then whatever financial background you have to be charged same. Then no transferability possible. Now suppose suddenly you want to leave the job, you don't want to act as a professional lawyer or you don't want to act as a doctor. So can you transfer your job to somebody because your situation will be now vacant? You cannot, because that very person should have to have the license, that very person should have to have that qualification to act as a lawyer. So more precisely, suppose you are a lawyer and your friend is not a lawyer and he is in search of job. So if you leave your chamber, you are not working for some days, you don't want to act as a lawyer, can you pass your job to him? No, because he is not a lawyer. How can you transfer the job? So there is no transferability possible. But in case of business, you can transfer the ownership. Suppose I hold a business, if I don't want to run the business, I can transfer the papers, I can sign on the papers and transfer the entire ownership to an outsider or to anybody who falls in my family. So in case of business, why I can transfer? Because business doesn't need that qualification, that defined qualification, and it can be handled by anybody if they operate with a business mind. So there is transferability possible, but here it is not possible. So these are the characteristics of profession. Now we are going to characteristics of employment. When you call a person is engaged in employment. Now first of all, suppose there is a company, let it be IBM, TCS. Now these companies, to do the work, they advertise their vacancy when it is open, and there are people who are in need of job, the job seekers, they fill the form and they go through the recruiting process, and suppose a person finds a job over there. Now see, so TCS or IBM, the company is the employer. So employer is the one who keeps the person for a certain job with a defined skill set, and employee is the person or the job seeker who gets a job. So employer, so any company, I am giving an example, suppose IBM. So there is an employer who actually is the owner or the head who makes decision in the company, and he advertises about the job, and any suitable candidate who actually fulfills the criteria of the which the employer needs, then he starts working over there as an employee. So he is engaged into employment. So it is totally based on contractual. That means the employer gives in contract. Suppose in a contract what is mentioned, the time of job, suppose 9 to 5, the pay amount that the employee will receive after every month according to the service that he gives, and all the rules, regulation, everything is fixed in the contract. Once the employee signs it, it means he will abide by the rules, regulation or the notice of the contract for the company. So what is over here, you can see the entire job is based on the contract. Who delivers the contract or gives the contract? The employer, who needs the people to do job in his firm or company, and there all the details, minute detailings regarding the job, what he has to do, what will be the pay, what will be the timing of job, for how long is the contract valid, that means for a period of 2 years, that means within 2 years the employee cannot leave the firm. So everything the employee looks through and gives his signature, means he approves to the contract and he joins the company. So it is contractual. Now what education the employee must possess, it depends on for which purpose the employer is advertising or employer is actually employing the person. So suppose the employer needs a computer engineer or a software engineer. So he will be laying down what are the qualification that should be there. Suppose he must have a BTech degree, MTech degree or certain software knowledges, then only he can apply. So there are whole lot of people who will apply seeing the qualification that is laid down by the employer. If they qualify to it, then only they can approach the company, out of which a selection will be done and they will get finally fixed in that employment. Now if suppose class 10 or class 12 pass out, they fill up the form, do you think they will get employment? No, because the need over here is for a computer engineer. So the basic skill set which the employer has mentioned in the contract has to be fulfilled, then only the employee might get selected. Now suppose the employer wants to get one security person. So for a security person, does he need to have the skill set of an engineer? No. Suppose he will advertise that 10 or 12 pass candidates at least who can read in English can apply. So similarly, few sets of people who will fall in this category will apply for the job. So what you can see, an employee's qualification depends on the criteria or the need of the employer. If he needs a computer engineer for the company, he will be prescribing the skill set which is required, and if the employee fulfills, then only he will get a job. So qualification, what employee should possess, it is not fixed, but it is depending on the need of the employer or what is prescribed or given by the employer. Then code of conduct. Code of conduct means rules and regulation. Now when you are working for IBM, you have to maintain their rules and regulation. Similarly, you leave the job and you go to TCS, another company, so you will have their definite set of rules and regulation. Then, so when you shift from one company to other, you will see that there are different rules and regulations. So when you are engaged with a particular company, you need to follow their rules or regulation or code of conduct, which is also mentioned in the contract and as needed by the employer. No transferability possible. Suppose your friend is working in IBM, he is a computer engineer. Now you don't know the roots or basics of computer, but you need a job. So can he give you a job? Or if he is thinking of diverting or shifting from one job to the other, his position will be vacant. So can he give the company a suitable candidate, or can he tell his friend to apply for the same job? No, because no transferability is possible. If you don't even possess that qualification to sit over there, how can he transfer you the job? So no transferability is possible, and they earn fixed salary. Now, if they know their salary, what will be coming at the end of the month, so they do the job as defined by the employer, they work as employee over there, and they, for their service, they get a monthly payment, and that is fixed, that is not variable. So if you compare to a businessman gets profit in return, but what profit he will be getting, whether he will earn 3 rupees profit or rupees 4 on each item, or the demand will fall, people will not be demanding, that he will be incurring loss, that is unknown. So he doesn't know his, what will be his income. Similarly, professionals like doctor. Now when you visit a doctor, some days the patients are, there are 20 patients, someday there can be, the chambers will be busy, there are 50 patients, so that day his earning will be more, and when there are less patients, the earning will be less. So it is variable. But for an employee, the salary is not variable, he gets fixed salary after completion of a month's time. So if you compare with business and profession, their salary or the money they get is known as salary, they get more or less fixed thing. But for a professional, the amount of, suppose I am taking the case of doctors, the amount of patients visit every day varies, so his income also will vary. How many clients visit a lawyer, that also varies, so his income will also vary. And their income also varies according to how much they are known. A doctor might be well known, a doctor who have the same degree might not be that well known. So according to their, how they are proclaimed or how their names are known to us, that also determines their income. If a well-known doctor is there, he will be earning more. Who is have the same degree but not that well known will be earning less. So their income is not fixed, it is variable. But in case of employment, an employee knows that he is going to earn a fixed amount in return. No capital investment. First I will deal with this point, then go to the previous point. No capital investment. Now you have seen in a business, there is capital investment required to start up a business, to incur that in production, or to procure, hold the goods, buy cheap, and then they sell it at a higher cost. So capital or money requirement is from the start of the business. In case of professional, you have seen that for acquiring qualification there is a capital investment. To build their establishment where they will be sitting and actually visiting the clients or patients, they need a chamber, so there is a minimum capital investment. But here the employee is working under the employer. When he gets the job, everything is set, the company is set, all the machines are laid down by the employee. He has to just sit and use his knowledge and skills to work. So there is no capital investment, he doesn't require to invest before he earns. So there is no capital investment, and only he gets a fixed salary at the end of the month. That is why we say there is no risk. For a businessman, why there is risk? He incurs a certain amount of money and at the end he might face loss. For a professional, why there is risk? A doctor invests money for his degree, his chamber, but he might not get so much, get to check so many patients because the patients are not coming to him. So capital investment is there, and there is also a chance of loss, so that is risky. But here there is no capital investment. The employee gets a salary at the end of the month after they give the service. That is why, since there is no capital investment, they are not incurring money, there is no risk. But there is only one risk, that is risk of losing the job. If they lose the job, then they will be not earning salary, but they have not incurred any cost, so that is why we call no risk.